Hey game fans, my name's Aaron Greens and I've been playing video games since 1988, which is probably longer than some of y'all have been alive. The first game I ever had was Marble Madness for the Nintendo Entertainment System and I've been hooked ever since. Now it was high school and college where I realized I was going to be an elite gamer because most of the games weren't challenging unless I had them on the hardest mode. Now, in today's episode of Armaggon Sushi, we're going to look at three distinct games and tips to get you through their trickier levels. The first game we're going to look at is Puzzle Fighter, which was released by Capcom in 1996. This marriage of Tetris and Street Fighter really made for a fun, quirky arcade game. And now that the PS3 and Xbox 360 are releasing it as downloadable content, it's sure to increase in popularity. The first tip I have is to make sure that you leave the third slot from the right of your bin open. Don't fill it up with gems because no matter how many gems drop on either side, as long as that third slot is open, you can stay in the game. Another aspect of this game is speed. You want to drop as many gems as fast as possible. The quicker you drop gems, the quicker you get bigger gems, the easier it is to dispatch your opponent. Think of yourself as a machine gun and your opponent's like a 9mm. Who do you think is going to win the fight? And the fastest way to drop a gem in this game is to just press up on the D-pad. It'll drop your gem instantly. Another tip for this game is to make sure you know your opponent's character's drop pattern. If you know what color their counter is going to drop, then you can build a gem of a similar color right next to it. When the timer runs out, you'll have a really big gem and a great counter attack. This is my final tip and it's my best one because it will allow a novice to beat an advanced player and it's a trick I took from the computer. What you want to do is you want to fill up your edges as quickly as possible. Don't worry about making a big gem. Don't worry about matching up colors. Just as fast as you can, put gems along the edges. And the only thing you have to do is make sure that you distribute crash balls evenly along both sides. Then, once your screen starts to fill up, you want to use crash balls to start to get rid of gems, or better yet, if you get a diamond, get rid of one full color. What you'll find is this will give you 3 to 5 chain combos, which will send a whole load of counters to your opponent, making it incredibly hard for him to win. Our next platform of pixelated pleasure is God of War 3. This is the third installment in this series with more bloody Greek mythology than you can shake an ashy fist at. Now I know what you're thinking. I beat God of War? It's not that hard. Well, obviously you've never tried it on Chaos mode. So for those of you bold enough to try and beat a god on the hardest mode, here's a few pointers. The first tip is to make sure you power up your main weapon, the Blades of Exile. There's not a lot of red orbs in Chaos mode, so you have to use all of them wisely. The Blades of Exile do decent damage and have a great range. They're going to be your most frequent weapon. And when 3 hits can kill you, you want to stay away from everybody. The next tip is to make sure you search stages thoroughly. You're going to need every red orb, every Gorgon eye, every Minotaur horn, every Phoenix feather. So you want to make sure you search every nook and cranny to get them. Because trust me, you're going to need them. And finally, I know in normal mode it's tempting to beat the living snot out of anything that moves. But in Chaos mode, if you don't have to fight it, don't fight it. If you see a 2-story Cyclops running at you with a tree trunk in his hand, and you can avoid him by running away, run away. I know it's not godly, but at least you'll take the maximum amount of health and magic to the next checkpoint. And that's really what counts. And our third and final game in this series episode today is Rock Band 3. This game was released by Harmonix and let people get their inner Bret Michaels out. Well, everything except for the reality show. So if you're having trouble getting that last guitar riff on your favorite Green Day song, check out these pointers. There are no real shortcuts when it comes to playing Rock Band unless you're a musician that plays that actual instrument. I mean, have you ever played a song and thought that you saw the notes but your hand just wasn't fast enough? Well, that's because you got to build up the strength and dexterity in your fingers to get those high scores. And that takes practice. But here's a trick to make that practice a little less tedious. In certain sections of some songs, you don't have to release all your fingers in order to play all the notes. For example, in this song, you would normally hold down the green and strum, then hold down the yellow and strum, then hold down the green and strum. But what you can do is hold down green for the entire section and then just press and release the yellow notes as they come. This way you save the strain on your index finger. You might remember playing a song on medium and getting 5 stars or 100% on it and thinking, hey, I could play this song on hard, only to immediately fail once you play it on hard. That's because Rock Band adds 3 components of difficulty each time you move up a level. The first component is speed, the second is the number of notes, and the third is the positioning of the notes. This next trick will help you with the speed. So if you're having trouble playing a song on hard, what I want you to do is I want you to find an easier song or the same song, and I want you to play it on expert. Yes, I said expert. Yes, I know you're going to fail on expert, but I want you to play it 4 or 5 times anyway. And what's going to happen is when you go back to play the song on hard, you'll notice it moves a lot slower. This way you'll be able to hit more notes in more awkward positions. Well, that's about it for this episode of Armaggon Sushi. I want to thank you for watching, but before I go, I got one more segment to do. It's the It's About Damn Time segment. Because it's about damn time Rock Band got some hip hop music. So with that, I give you Who I Am by Snoop Dogg.